Just had a quick chat with Phil Roberts. He's the founder and the CEO of Journeymen. A year old, happy birthday. 100 men went in, talking about various different things. They're not all going at the same time, but now they're looking after 200 plus. And into the future as well, there will be more men who just need to talk, just need to get things off the chest. You know, what might be a little tiny problem to you could be a huge deal to somebody else. You know, we all work in different ways, but Phil mentioned Des before, who has used the service, and he's with us now. Des Turnbull. Hi, Des.
Hiya, Snelly, you all right there?
Yeah, I'm all right. So you're working for the firm now? You're working for the organisation now, I understand?
I am indeed, yeah. It's been a bit of a crazy year, obviously for Journeyman, but, you know, and for myself as well. But getting the help that I needed was the best thing that I've ever done, Snelly.
Well, I'm going to ask you about you and why you needed the help, but please, you tell us as much or as little as you want, mate. Don't you feel under pressure to tell us stuff that you don't feel comfortable telling, but how did it all start for you?
Well, basically, I've had an operation on my spine, and it left me with no feeling in my hands. And I was working, but it wasn't good for my mental health, the company I was working in. And so I came out of work in about sort of May time last year and found myself in pain, sitting at home, alone. I had friends, but they were online, you know. Yeah. I've got some amazing friends right around the world, but obviously you can't really see them online. You can't sit there and have a chat and really sort of get into the crux of things. Absolutely brilliant guys, but, you know, it's the physical contact and the actual sitting and talking to people that I needed. And I was just sitting in the house drinking at the end, which wasn't good. But I know a lot of men do that to cope. You know?
So at what point did you think, you know, I'm quite enjoying, you know, these bags of Doritos and beers and watching the footy and this, that and the other, but I know in my heart of hearts I can't continue to do this because this isn't me. What was the point where you said that to yourself?
The point that happened, it was about 11:30 one night, and I was sat in my chair, and I just said, I'm fed up of this. I need to actually get out and see if there's something out there that can sort of help me get me out of this funk that I'm in. And I saw Journeymen on Facebook, and to be honest, it took me about a week to actually phone the number or send a message, because it was a bit embarrassing to actually admit you needed help. So that's what I did. As I say, it took me about a week, Snelly, but so since then I haven't looked back. That
goes back to what Phil and I were talking about before. I know you sat next to him using the same phone, so you would have heard what we were talking about. That goes back to that big boys don't cry, man up. You know, you shouldn't, you know, men don't do this. This isn't what men do. And that's an embarrassing thing to say. Once you get over that hurdle, you're kind of flying after that. But it's a big hurdle to get over that. We've been constantly told for years and years and years, this is what men do and this is what men don't do. Yeah,
that's exactly it, Snelly. And it's something I say to my men as well. Listen, the old adages aren't real. That's something that was made up and put into your head. So men do cry. Men do have mental breakdowns. We know this, but nobody talks about it. And that's why Journeyman is fantastic, because it's getting people talking about it, Snelly. And that's what needs to be done. There's plenty of services for women. Brilliant, but there was never an individual service for a man, and that's why what Phil has done over the last year is absolutely fantastic, and everybody who supported us as well.
So you mentioned your men there, Des, so presumably you're sitting down, you're talking with other lads now, you know, and in a way, it's help. It's not crucial, but I'm sure it does help when you talk to these other lads. And they look at you, say, actually, you've been there. You felt exactly the same way that I did, and I thought I was the only one. That's a massive help, surely.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A lived experience is it's a lot more straight to the point. I can say to a new guy who walks through the door, this is exactly what we're going to do with you.
Yeah.
So I've been there, I've done that, there's my story, this is how we're going to get you through this as well.
What's your new chapter in your life like now, Des? You know, you've turned a page from, and I'm sure you have a beer now and again, but, you know, it's not a routine thing where you're sitting in the chair at 11:30, glugging a few beers. So what's the new chapter like now?
Oh, the new chapter is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I felt I'd completed my journey after about 2.5, 3 months of going on the walks and talks, going fishing, going out on the narrowboats, you know. And after that, I said to Phil, look, I'd like to give something back because you've helped me so much. And I started volunteering, helping with the fishing trips. Got involved with a group on Facebook called Wirral Sea Fishing Adventures, which is Ben Dobson and Mike Howard. They're the admins, and they have been supporting us right across the board as well. You know, we're getting donations of fishing equipment for the men. We've had some donations from a major tackle brand as well, which was amazing, you know. And everybody, all the guys in the group are there, and they want to support our men as well.
If there are any men listening now who think, do you know what, I've been thinking about getting in touch with somebody, but each time I log on or each time I look something up, I kind of come away and think, I'll do that next week. Probably a bit like yourself. But you know in your heart of hearts, I've got to do this at some point. What would you say to them, Des?
I'd say, really don't worry about it. We've all been there at one point. Pick up the phone, give us a call. The number here is 0151 792 9159. Okay, and as I say, you know, I volunteered, Snelly, and then in November last year, Phil and Leon saw the work I was doing, and now I've actually got employment here as well.
Made up for you. Really, really pleased for you. I bet you're really rubbish at fishing, though, aren't you?
I'm not exactly brilliant, but I mean, I get guys catching fish. Two of the guys who were with us on Saturday caught their first sea fish.
Yeah. Listen, you're changing lives, mate. You really are. And I don't say that lightly, but good to talk to you, Des. And it's nice to know that... could you imagine if you hadn't clicked on that Facebook page that night? Where would you be? Where would you be now?
To be honest with you, Snelly, I'm not quite sure where I would be. I really don't know.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now, mate, because you've got the new chapter. Good to talk to you, Des. And say, I know Phil's next to you as well. Thanks, Phil. Don't know whether you can hear me, mate, but thanks very much for coming on. Next time you got something brewing, you're always welcome on here. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Snelly, thanks very much.
All the best, mate. There you are. So now you know that number, 0151 792 9159, and just go on Journeymen, have a look. It's all over social media as well. You'll be able to have a little look at what they do. Well, you've heard it from yourself, haven't you? You just heard it there. Absolutely brilliant stories and talking about making a difference.